Does anybody have a recap from last session that they would like to provide?
Oh.
No, you can go.
I mean, while traveling, we ran across or was this the place we were supposed to go to, or did we run across this while traveling there? I can't remember off the top of my head, but
yeah, this was the place you were trying to find.
Okay, yeah, we found the place we're supposed to go and ended up having to fight a few giants. I don't think we got a lot of info out of them, unfortunately, because for some reason we weren't able to knock them out.
Yeah, some reason they ended up dead, splattered on the ground like they are. Yeah, Gabe, you have anything else to add to that?
On our traveling, Felix was riding my back, and me and him and the zombie went down into the gully while Chitter, Valana, and Aetherion stayed high up on the mountain. While me and Felix and the zombie crept closer, Felix casted, I can't remember what the evil eye? No.
Oh, Arcane Eye?
Arcane Eye, and did some scouting ahead, and then he let his owl send a message to the top group upon the hill, telling them to slow down, and then we kind of went back and discussed, well, me and Felix did, of what our plan should be, and we all kind of just trudged towards the camp, and then we found Captain Thermac, one of his fire giant friends, a troll, and a construct that was being worked on.
Yep.
Captain Thermac pretty much like defiled us because we were using the lightning god or the lightning giant's powers against him.
Frost giants, but yeah.
All died. Oh, frost giants, sorry. And they all died. Happily ever after. The end.
Yeah, the end. Game over. Great job. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Chitter and Toad, you guys can give yourself some de-inspiration if you haven't used it yet. A few things to add, which it doesn't really matter because Jeremy and Josh aren't here.
Also, with the Arcane Eye, Felix looked at some maps and heard a little bit of eavesdropping.
Yes, I was about to say, yeah, a few of the things. So, Felix did see that there was a map that Captain Thermac was looking at, or that had been posted, and some kind of like papers and letters skewered about the like a desk thing. You didn't really get much information, like you said, from them because you killed them fairly quickly, but you did, like you mentioned, you noticed that they seem to not be happy with the frost giants, or seeing Aetherion use frost giants actions, magic, whatever, kind of set them off a little more. Other than that, there was just kind of a lot of back and forth between Toad, Chitter, Aetherion, and Valana and Felix about the zombie and bringing something back from the dead, using it as a tool, the morality of undead. And it, ended up being somewhat of a lengthy discussion. So I wanted to make sure that I gave some light to that. But yeah, that was pretty much everything. So with that, we will pick up right after you defeated the fire giants here. So Captain Thermac and his, we'll call them henchmen, but it's kind of just like his part of his group here at this camp. And you do see the bodies are lying there, the troll up on the cliff, the construct laid and destroyed. What would you all like to do? And you should be able to go up within melee range of the bodies and loot them. Double click on their token and you should be able to see what they have.
Whoa.
And
Someone's showing off.
What?
Oh god, this is cool.
I think you can take everything If you
Oh,
want,
yeah,
except for
I
the
would-
currency. The currency, I think, will limit you to a perfect split. I think is how that works. But we'll
Is
see.
Is this item piles or something else?
Yeah, item piles. And if the currency is
Okay.
very weird, let me know and I'll just quick do a distribution.
Okay. I mean, some of these are. I was gonna say. Oh my god! Why are there 8 giant toads?
Well, he's got 10, so 8 of them are allowed to be taken.
Hey! Away from my giant! I'm currently searching it.
So I take it you all start to loot and go through and see what you can find.
Okay, so yeah, DM.
Mhm.
So apparently,
Oh,
you
God.
were talking about the currencies.
Yes.
It does do shares.
Okay. So that's how it'll. Okay, gotcha.
So I think you're seeing my looting from here
Yes.
from the giant leader. So he had 200 silver. I'm able to take a 50 silver share. Of it.
Okay, cool. So that's nice. So it will divvy. Okay, and it like limits you to that. You can't take any more.
Right.
Okay, cool. That's good. So then I can make sure I'll split that to Therion and Felix by the end of the session. And Valana, just because I'm curious, and you probably will do this. I need to look at your. Okay, cool. Wanted to make sure. But I'm glad this is working. This is fun to watch. And I have it private just to, that way everyone's chat's not getting destroyed with all these messages. But it's cool that it works.
I just hit the split with everybody thing for the money. So
Yeah. There is an option that I may try at some point where you can do loot all. Or like take all to just make it faster, because in my mind, more than likely the person who gets to the body is just going to take it all and then say, hey, here's what I found, who wants it? But I didn't want to do that at the beginning. I wanted everyone to have a chance to like start this way, see what they think, and then go from there. But
I mean, there's also stuff here I'm not looting, like the greatsword and plate armor, which weighs so fucking much.
Yeah, because then you're going to have trash.
There's giant-sized iron ingots here. I don't know if we want those. There's no listed weight or anything, but I imagine they're probably heavy as fuck.
As you're kind of searching through, you do notice that anything that you're touching that's giant sized, as you touch it, it starts to shrink down to a size that you can hold in your hand. The weight is definitely still there, so it gets more dense, but it physically gets smaller for you to be able to hold. I'm not doing encumbrance tracking just yet. I may here late, not too long from now, especially because you're doing a lot of giant stuff. But in terms of physical things, it's a kind of a general understanding that it magically shrinks to a size you can hold. It just will be as heavy as it was before.
Okay.
Also, because I am in my dinosaur form, it's putting the stuff in my dinosaur inventory, not my actual inventory.
Okay. If you don't have it when you wild shape back, let me know, and then I have all of them saved, and I see what you've taken, and I'll just put it in there.
Well, here, I assume combat's over.
Yes.
I know I should never assume, but
it seems like you pretty much destroyed everybody that was here.
yes.
I had to applaud that. I'm sorry. That was awesome.
Works.
And no, they're not in my inventory, Austin.
Okay, cool. I will start doing that right now.
Okay, this looting system is actually really cool. Yeah.
Yay! That makes me so happy. Now we got to knock on wood, because as soon as you guys say that, we're gonna find something that breaks it, and then it's gonna suck. So let's all take it
DM is already
in.
broken.
I knew you'd say something.
DM, I broke it. I'm sorry.
I accidentally took everything. I need you to manually go through and delete everything that I just looted. Okay, Toad, let's see. What did you get? You got a rock, vial of troll blood.
Another rock.
2 rocks. Wow. Need to have these split into different tabs. That would be helpful. There we go. Okay, fire giant.
Do any of us have a bag of holding?
I do.
Do you want to put those iron ingots in there, possibly?
Assuming I don't rupture it, because that actually does. Because weight actually does matter in this case. Because if I go over 500 pounds in the bag, it ruptures and I lose everything to the astral plane. So I'd like to not lose everything to the astral plane.
That would be nice. You would hate to do that, and then you'll wish that you would have put things in one of the banks. Man.
I don't trust the banks. They're run by evil goblins.
Who says they're evil? The one you met was a figment of your imagination. Well, okay.
He threatened us. Like,
one time. Gosh.
Okay, and he's left a sour taste in my mouth towards banking. Like, if you go to a bank and one of them fucking draws a gun on you, like, are you gonna trust every bank you go into going forward?
I don't know. Maybe. I play it loose with my money.
So I've got a timeshare today if you wanna buy. I mean,
I'm all over it. I updated what you had looted so far, so everything now should hopefully be in there that you had.
Split
the money.
Their next money.
Okay.
I guess I'll put him in the bag of holding.
Yeah, I can read this probably.
Okay, I was waiting for someone to tell me, for someone to grab whatever the letter. I didn't see it. Okay, so you got it. I was wondering who had it. Yes. So while everyone is looting, Valana, while you're searching through Captain Thurnak, you found a letter that had kind of been like crumpled up and put in a pouch on his hip. And when you open it up, knowing how to speak. So, and this was another thing I wanted to say too. So knowing how to speak giant, you understand the giant language. You can also hear it and interpret. The way giants write to each other, they use the dwarven script, but they use the dwarven script mixed in with some of their like runic symbols to then spell giant words. Okay. It'd be like if I was using Chinese symbols to spell English words. So that's how they write. And so you notice this is in a dwarvish language. Since you understand giant, you automatically will get you understand how to read dwarvish. You can't speak it, but you can read it. And so you quickly open this and look through it, which I need to update that because you can read it. So I've got to make sure I do this correctly to where you don't get 3 different things. And I may do this later, but actually I can just do it right now. Shoot. That's not what I meant. I have it saved in the unidentified. Here we go. Okay, so if I move this, whoops, you're going to see that update from the Dwarven runes to English since you can read it. So as you look at the letter and read it and translate and everything, you see that it says, from the forged throne of Ironslag to Captain Thurnak Steelflame Ember Sigil Bearer. And it says, Thurnak, you are hereby authorized to lead a precision strike force beyond the Western Furnace under sealed writ in pursuit of a threat not born of stone or fire, but of undeath. An anonymous patron whose influence and intelligence are not to be dismissed has contacted me with news of a Cult of the Dragon sect operating in the wilderness near Luskin. This cult has allegedly succeeded in advancing a forbidden rite of Dracolich transformation, a feat not achieved since the last broken attempt to free Tiamat. The patron offers no alliance, only an exchange. If we eradicate this sect, he will reward us with a piece of the Vanandad, something of the utmost importance to help us finish the Colossus and wage war and put us at the top again. He claims the relic is secure and will be surrendered once the deed is done. You are to strike with precision, wreak havoc, making the sect lick their wounds. Capture their leader, alive, and send him back to Ironslag. The patron only requested the sect to be handled, he never asked for captives. I have a use for the worm speaker, and that should stop the Dracolich ritual. Send word once the camp has fallen. Part of your detachment will serve as emissaries to receive the payment. A final warning. Your path leads between the hunting grounds of Chief Guh and the sea trade channels of Jarl Storvald. Do not draw their ire unless provoked. Although the Frost Giants have made themselves thieves, we wait to retaliate. Although King Hecatan is missing, Princess Sarissa's eyes may also fall on protecting Luskin. Observe caution. Burn the cult, bind the leader, then we collect what was promised. Duke Zalto, wielder of Majora's Wrath, High Flame of Iron Slag. And I will put that also in Discord as well. So you guys have it for later.
I was about to ask. I'm like, that's a lot to keep track of.
That was a lot of names.
Yes. And they may or may not be pertinent at some point. So I am uploading that now.
I do know who at least one of those people was.
Is this the translated one? Come on. I have two versions of it, the untranslated and translated, and now I have to find the right one. I think it's this one. Should have probably saved the... Yes, okay. Captain Thurnak. This one. Okay. So, oh my gosh, I did the wrong one again. Son of a... Well, now you guys get both. You get to see the untranslated and translated version.
Ooh, if you upload them both at the same time, it'll put them side by side.
Ah, shoot. Well, too late. I'll fix it later. But there you go. Okay. So yeah, after reading that, Valana, and I mean, I would assume you kind of all share this information. But you, one name stands out, one that you've all already heard. Jarl Storvald. You heard that spoken from a giant, and I'm looking.
Jarl Stormvald was the frost giant.
I think you guys knew that, but in essence, he's one of the giant lords, and specifically the frost giant lord. And then you've also heard speak of Duke Zalto as well. And one of the letters you found in Luskin mentioned that Duke Zalto was promised a fragment. And I would say definitely, Valana, you were aware of the whole Tiamat debacle that happened as well. Chitter, you probably heard rumblings of a dragon, like Cult of the Dragon uprising a few years ago, but you never really got in depth in it. And Toad, you definitely have no recollection.
Can't remember a thing, so.
But
Valid.
No, guys, I've been thinking. I don't know if this is like, you know, if I'm getting too depressing here, but like, man, this world really just gets hit with threats like all the time.
It certainly does seem that way.
Like, could you imagine what it would be like if if adventurers weren't all here? Like, holy shit, civilization would have burned to the ground like a century ago. Guess that means we have job security.
And actually, I lied. Toad, can you do a history check for me, please?
Yeah.
I should have caught this earlier.
In reality, though, holy shit, the Sword Coast gets hit with a lot of problems.
It does, though.
I think every published campaign in 5e happens within like a century of each other.
Pretty much.
More like the last 2 decades.
Yeah, it's not a lot of time.
Like, if you're born in between like 1480
Toad,
and
flip a
like
coin for me.
1495, you have lived through so much shit.
2, okay. So after hearing Valana read what she said and kind of disseminate the information, Toad, you get a flash in front of your eyes again of a vision coming to, and it's the same vision of you and this what appears to be a young child running through a field, and it seems to be a happier memory because it looks like the child is laughing or smiling and you're chuckling with it, and you're seeing this play out in slow motion almost. So that flashes before you and you're like, okay, I've seen this before. Is there anything else? And you notice that it's not that you're moving in slow motion. You're just very large. You notice this child next to you, while you are like running through this field, just clobbers through a very large building. So you look at it, it still has the physical aspects of a child. However, that was definitely a building that you both kind of ran through and just destroyed. What would kind of watching this, what would you be thinking about while you see this vision?
You said that the younger boy was near me?
Yeah, you're kind of like side by side. And you look down and you notice that you're kind of holding hands, but you are really kind of holding his like wrist rather than his hand.
Does he look afraid or scared or?
Do a perception check for me. So you look down, you notice, okay, I'm holding his wrist. We just clobbered through a building, and so you follow the arm up and you look at his face again, kind of a little more intently now. And you look and you notice he has kind of a fearful look on his face, where what you thought was laughing and you chuckling, you now realize, and you can start to hear like the sound of this vision come into your ears, very muffled. You hear him like yelling and almost screaming, and you're not chuckling, but it's your like body cage rattling up and down from the weight as you're so large and you're pulling him with you. So it's almost like you're pulling him somewhere. Rather than you're both just like frolicking through a field, he's scared and you're like guiding him along. And then the vision fades.
Dang it.
Okay. Anything else you guys would like to do around here? There is like, it's not very well shown, but like right here was where Felix found that map pinned to the wall, as well as there's like a stack of papers, like a desk in essence over here. It's just not on the map. But yeah.
Should we bring a relic to show we've proven ourselves?
I mean, I have a heart. I got some toes.
Imagine just holding him, pulling him out of your bag.
I mean,
Basically.
my immediate thought was like we should bring back one of like other pieces of equipment, but it's like we're not gonna haul a greatsword or a fucking thing of plate mail. We'd have to like get a separate cart just to carry that, and so we cut off one of their heads.
I was about to say, could that be a possibility? Like, how much would one head weigh? Preferably Captain Thurnack.
It would be fairly heavy, but nothing unbelievable, especially like Toad for you, because you're not really carrying a whole lot right now. I mean, you know, a giant's head probably weighs, I'm pulling this out of my butt, probably 75 pounds, maybe 100 pounds. But
It's okay. I heard Aetherian said that he would carry it, right? Yeah, I can carry it. Yeah, see, he's cool with it.
he's T-posing, but you just like put your hand in front of his mouth and go, "Yeah, I can handle it."
He's just puppeting him.
Oh, God.
That's great.
Works for me.
No, he's standing by a cliff, so you guys will look up, and I've got like the little fucking marionette things.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, you
If not, I can bring it.
go ahead and do a survival check for me. Whoever's gonna cut the head off of the giant, just to see how clean of a cut it is.
While they work on that, yeah, I'm going to begin copying this note.
Okay.
I mean, did we just say that I was copying it down as you dictated it? Like, I got the quilling book.
Yeah, if you guys, whoever wanted to copy down, yeah. 16.
Yeah, we can say that.
I figured to save the time. Like,
You'd be able to cut off the head fairly cleanly. You notice while you're cutting the head that like the death rattle happens where the last bit of air from the lungs kind of escapes, and it makes you jump for a second, and accidentally when that happens your blade slips and you slice off his ear, but you're able to kind of hide it and finish cutting off the head with the blood still just dripping all over you. I wish I had a headless version, but I don't.
Also, I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Has Jeremy updated my token? Because I asked him for some changes. I don't know if he sent you it or not.
He hasn't yet, and I'm trying to remember if he mentioned that he was working on it or not. I haven't. Oh, no, that was the original one. I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. Whoops. Roll this around. Oh, another small thing. Valana, I fixed your mage armor. It should be a passive effect now, so it should never go away. If it does, I'll fix it, but should be good.
Yeah, I noticed that, DM. Thank you very much.
Yep. Okay. Anything else you guys would like to do here before starting? Well, I guess anything you'd like to do here before doing whatever it is you want to do next. My assumption is you're heading back to Luskin to the Arcane Brotherhood, or is there something else you want to do?
I mean, that is what we set out here to do. Fucking fetch quests.
It is what we set out to do, and now we have a couple things we could take a look into.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For one, this Cult of the Dragon is researching Lich, or what was it, DM?
So the letter you read from Captain Thurnack, or from Duke Zalto to Captain Thurnack, said that there was a dragon, Cult of the Dragon sect that had made the next step in the Draco Lich transformation, which hasn't happened since the whole Tiamat situation. So they've been like the first one to successfully get to that next part. It seems like it's been stopped for now, or potentially should have, as the letter you read was telling Captain Thurnack to go and raid the village. You don't immediately see anything here that shows that they have a captured dragon cultist. However, there wasn't a date on that letter you have, so you're not really sure when that was sent. Perhaps there's more information somewhere, perhaps not. I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah. So we have that, and now we have this whole thing that we can take back and show them. So.
Okay. Would you like to rest here for the night and then take off, or you want to kind of take off, get away for a little bit, then find a place to camp?
I mean, we probably shouldn't camp here. We don't know what kind of scouts they might have or other stuff, and
I agree. We should definitely leave.
it's also probably not going to smell great with two giant corpses. Like,
Especially one beheaded. Oh, and I forgot to do this too. Since Felix isn't here, I'm pretty sure he said when he did his arcane eye and he saw the map, he like quickly copied down what was on the map. And so I'm gonna post that in chat as well because there is a map.
If not, I don't know if he said anything out loud when he was doing that, but I knew it was to the northeast that their main outpost or camp was.
Mm-hmm.
From Phandalin.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he would have shared what he had.
I thought we found out that was on like the other side of the.
It's way over there. Yeah.
I mean, that's like way to like northeast of like even Silvery Moon, which is far to the east.
So yeah, in resources, that is the map that Felix was able to copy down. and you can tell that it is a snippet of the Sword Coast and all the way to the Anarok Desert. And there's like some highlighted regions with handwritten notes on this map. There's not any sort of small folk or like civilizations marked on here that any of you can see, but it is very much like hand drawn. So you take it, this is probably the Giants version of a map. They don't care about necessarily what you all call cities or where your cities are located. They're worried about their stuff. And so this is very much built from their perspective. And you see the like travel line that Captain Thurnak took from Iron Slag way up in the northeastern region before the Anarok Desert, all the way over to this campsite and then their attack on Luskin. The other aspect too is the regions that are highlighted that you note, and you quickly see that there's 5 of them located here. There is one that surrounds kind of that Iron Slag area to the northeast, and the mountain ranges over there called Duke Zalto's Domain, which you take it, this must be the Fire Giants area that they kind of control, with some key locations marked there, which makes sense. This is a Fire Giant map that they probably want to take care of where their stuff is, but they also wouldn't know where everyone else's things are. And then you can cross the border to the west, and you quickly see the Spine of the World, the large mountain range in the frigid north, which is all then covered by Jarl Storvald's lands. So this looks, for some of you would know this is pretty much just north of Silvery Moon into the Spine of the World, including Luskin, as well as Fire Shear, which Aetherion has mentioned he's been before, Bryn Shander, which some of you have heard of and have some history with, is Jarl Storvald in the Frost Giants area. Then right below Duke Zalto's region is another region called Thane Kaelithika's lands. This one takes care of the very central large wooded area, as well as some of the Grey Peak Mountains to the far east, central east. Then Dead Center, the largest physically region, is outlined as Chief Guz land. This includes all of your hillsides, all of the like middle grasslands. So this would be pretty much kind of right where Phandalin starts, or right where it ends and Triboar gets ready to start. This would be Yarder. This would include the Desserin Hills, and then the actual coast, all the way up to Luskin, and then all the way down to almost Baldur's Gate, and then out into the Trackless Sea is King Hekaton's lands. So this includes a lot of the major cities. You've got Luskin is right on the edge, kind of more in your old Storvald's land, but then quickly you get into Neverwinter, Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate, and then everything in between out into the water. So yeah.
I'm sitting here seeing this, and it definitely seems like these are probably themed after different types of giants. Because Chief Gus sounds like such a fucking hill giant name.
That is, okay, DM.
That's all I could think this whole time was like Chief Gus is a fucking hill giant.
Is. I know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I fucking see it.
Oh.
Like, Jittery, you're right. Queen Gus is the hill leader. I don't want to reveal that, but I fucking knew.
I love the names.
I don't imagine Storm Giant being like, I am Chief Gus. It's like, fuck are you? What? No, you're a Storm Giant.
Fun fact, when I did my Tyranny, or I'm still doing my Tyranny of Dragons game, and we did, after the Horde of Dragon Queen, we've been going on a whole bunch of other side missions and quests, and one of the side missions I actually took my party on was for my party's ranger who really hates giants, so I figured I would do something there. And I remembered, wait a minute, one of these other players I'm with was with me when we actually killed Queen Guh. What if I took them on a journey and killed Queen Guh's mother, Queen Ugg?
Oh my god. God damn it.
So the party got to fight Queen Ugg.
That's
which
great.
Gives rise to Queen Guh.
If we're just, I mean, I get it, it's a sound thing, but I'm also just imagining swapping letters. Would that mean that that Queen Guh's grandmother would be Queen Hug?
Yes.
Hug. If you put them all together.
Oh god, oh, ugh.
It's
That hurts my
hug.
mouth.
It becomes it rhymes with grug.
Even better is if you made them all like hybrid giant hags, and they make a coven, and they form together to create one crazy powerful hag that's called Hug.
Oh my
Sorry.
god.
Sorry. When you said crazy powerful coven, I can't not hear. I don't know if you guys ever watched Supernatural with the Mega Coven. It's like what?
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh.
I'm gonna remember that though. Like maybe
Yeah.
that's what I'll do next time I run the campaign, because I guarantee I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do something similar. They'll face hag coven like that.
There you go.
I mean, the Giants might feature into the later part of my campaign as well for other reasons that have to do with Ebron. So now I might have to put a Chief Ugg somewhere in there.
That could be our little
Do
secret. Every campaign from now on that any of us run, we have to throw that little Easter egg.
All right, Gabe, you're in this too.
Yep.
If you run a game, you
Whoa.
You have to become a DM now. Join the secret society.
Yeah, yep.
Yep, gotta join us.
Tabret Society, you mean?
Yep, there you go.
I mean, okay, just making the things. I mean, this makes me think. So, fire giants are doing something fucky. I wonder. I mean, I don't know if they'd care about us, but maybe we could play the giants against each other a little bit.
The only giants I would trust would be the storm giants.
I'm just putting it out there. Like, if they got territory, and if they're doing this sneaky shit, maybe there's some allies.
Personally, I think we should use this map as a hit list.
Ooh.
Well, but are you saying we should go and just like kill all the leaders?
More or less. I mean, what do you think the other giants are likely going to do, or would be doing, if they found out that the fire giants were attempting to reforge the Vardanog?
Well, okay, maybe we don't give them those details, but like, have you?
It's already possible they already know.
I guess, but do you know what happens when you kill off a bunch of leaders at once? Chaos.
Jeez.
And he like looks at Toad.
Out of the mouths of babes.
He's like gonna say something and like stops himself. Like, no, he doesn't know shit. But if we do that, you know, might cause chaos, and you've got chaos with giants involved. Nobody wants chaos with giants involved. Okay, maybe Aetherian wants chaos with giants involved. I don't know right now. He's T-posing, but like.
Yes, I do. Now Toad's doing. He's mimicking what you did.
I look up and now Toad's on top of the cliff using the marionette thing. Like, no, put those down.
Well, okay, before we go around and kill giants, perhaps we need more information. I say we return to one of the major cities and see if we can gather information on what is happening with the other clans.
Yeah, I mean, if we can rest, I can pop us back pretty quickly. So. But yeah, we definitely should go do that and get more information.
Okay, so.
But right now I've been beat to shit. Like my hit points are like, I have lots of scratches and cuts.
Catch yourself saying hit point. Oh, I mean, sorry. Okay, so you all kind of bound together and start in essence making the way back to Luskin, kind of the way you came, following the path just to stay close to the trail you've already taken. And as you start to leave, Chitter, out of the corner of your eye, you notice that on the kind of desk where that map was, there's like a stack of papers, and you see one that's like hanging over the edge, and you see a seal stamped into it, like at the very end. And even from where you're at, you can kind of tell that it resembles the same seal that Villana had on the letter she had read. So it looks like there's another letter that's on this desk from potentially Duke Zalto, as you guys are kind of leaving towards back to Luskin.
Shit, I'll grab that real quick.
Okay. Do you know Giant?
I don't believe so. I've checked, but I'm currently grabbing pizzas.
Nope, you're
Give me a
good. You've got Elvish, Common, Draconic, Gnomish. Okay. Would you share this letter with the group as you were traveling?
second. I mean, I can't do anything with it without them, so yes.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, let's
He
get you
just
here.
picks it up and like as
just
they're
holds it.
walking, just like holds it out to Valana.
You know what? I firebolt it real quick.
Get rid of that real quick. Nobody needs to see that, especially after what she says of killing all of the giants.
Well, I give it to her though. Well, if she's looking it over, I am going to study the seal on it though. I guess the
Okay.
seal on either of the things, because you never know when forging something might be helpful.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
He's still a picture of a dinosaur.
We'll fix that real quick. Okay. It is later, and I need to change this real quick. So, sorry, give me a second. That's what I wanted. I am not going to play a song called Adventure Time. No.
What? It's time to grab our friends and go to very distant lands.
Oh, that's gonna be loud. Okay.
With Jake the dog and Finn the human?
I was going to say with Toad the robot and Valana the vampire.
We do make an interesting party.
Well, no, see, because then you have to be Marsley, and so it'd be Chitter the bird and Toad the robot. Unless we're making Toad BMO, but I don't want to make Toad BMO because BMO's lame.
What? How dare you?
There are better robot characters in the show.
I'm gonna turn into Catbug.
I'm okay with that. Only if we get to have a big old beer, though.
Nice.
Oh, now,
shoot.
where's my big old beer?
Okay, there we go.
Oh, by the way, DM, did we level up?
No, not yet. You're dangling in front of you. Let's do this. Okay, so pull this back a little bit. Okay, as you guys are traveling back, just as pretty much as far as you can to get ready to camp for the night. Actually, we'll just say you guys make it to a campsite that night. Do I have a nighttime one? Yeah, sure. We'll do this one again.
Ooh, I remember this one.
Yeah. You find a familiar place to camp. You feel like you've been here before.
Deja vu.
There we go. That's what I want.
Austin.
Yes.
I accidentally closed out of my character sheet, and now it's doing the thing with the other character sheets where it's all black.
Why? Why did you do that? Everything was working just fine.
Why did you touch the thing and break it?
How dare you?
We
Man,
did
this-
say we were gonna break something today.
That's true. Have you refreshed?
I have to refresh probably.
That's annoying. Let me know if it happens again. It's probably
Just
because
thinking
you had 2 tokens on here.
I'm just thinking we find the familiar campsite, and I'm just like, well, and I go over to the indentation of where we last set up the Mudslick Tower, and I set up the Mudslick Tower again.
I don't know why this.
Would you tell Toad the word?
No.
You're
Aw.
trying so hard to get that sound or that word. It's never gonna happen.
I know it's bananas.
It is crazy as bananas, that's for sure. I know the secret word.
Well, you know everything. You're the DM. So.
Technically, I know it more than Chitter knows it.
This is true. He does not speak. I don't think he speaks primordial. He just got the word. Like,
Yep.
it's the only bit of Orin he knows. So, it's gonna come in handy someday. Oh well.
There we go. Finally got what I
Terra,
needed.
not Orin. But yeah.
So you get set up for camp, and Valana helps you, Chitter, kind of go through the second letter that you found. And this one says, and I'll post this all in Discord as well. This one says, to Captain Thurnak Steelflame. It says, your report has been received. I read it twice to ensure I was not misled by heat or haste. The emissaries, bearing our sigil and the bound cult leader, approached the gates of Luskin, and the city responded with arrows and alarms. After all we did, after crushing that wretched cult in the wilds, capturing the ritualists alive, and wiping their filth from the soil, this was their answer. The patron spoke of payment, of honor, of a piece of the Vonendad secured within that city, promised in return for our precision and restraint. But now he hides behind mortal walls, offering nothing but insult. Let it be known, we extended a hand, and they burned it. I will not grovel for what was earned in flame and blood. The Vonendad belongs to us, and we shall retrieve it not as emissaries, but as conquerors. Prepare your forces, burn their defenses, scatter their wards, take what was denied. If any still breathe in Luskin when the fire dies, it will only be because you allowed it. This is no longer diplomacy, this is retribution. Zalto, wielder of Madra's wrath, voice of the true forge. Put all that in here. I love that gift. That's so great. Where'd I
Toad, Cheddar, we were posting gifts on the wrong channel.
Whoops.
Quick, post them in order, general channel again.
Okay, there's those. So those are in there as well. So, kind of reading the two letters that you have, you take it that they, in essence, did what they were supposed to and tried to tell whoever the patron was, or even just meet the patron in Luskin, and Luskin either did not know about it or did not react kindly and attacked them. So that then prompted these fire giants to seek revenge and retribution.
I don't know if they were saying it out loud. I assume so for Chitter to write down in his book. But do we know of the people that they spoke about? Was that the Arcane Brotherhood?
So they only call them a patron, the person that told them about this. So you don't really know. From the letters, it's not even clear if the person who first told Duke Zalto about this dragon cult sect, if they are in Luskin or if they are just using Luskin as like a meeting ground. Like they knew that there was a piece in Luskin, and so they told them. You're not really sure.
But who would have access to that information?
Where did he go? Why did he do it? Great questions. But with that, is there anything else any of you would like to do before kind of resting for the evening? It's about 9:30. We'll say at night. It took you a few hours to get to a good spot that you felt comfortable.
I'm gonna see if I can see any wildlife. Oh.
With the 9, I'd say you don't see anything crazy. You do spot one of the native barn owls out in one of the trees. You hear its call and you look and quickly can spot it up in the tree. And about the time you spot it, you see it kind of flutter off a little. And you hear a little clink, almost like water droplets on metal. And you look to your shoulder where you're hearing it from, and you see a little tiny chipmunk up on your shoulder and just kind of curls and lays there.
I will stand as still as possible.
It just freezes.
It's like whenever you have a cat, and the
Yeah,
cat sits
you
on your
can't
lap,
move.
you cannot move.
Yep. Yeah.
That's your life now.
You all just
Yep,
leave Toad
campaign's
there in the
over for
morning. He becomes one with the earth. Okay. If there's nothing else, you all can feel free to have a long rest. As you have an uneventful night, you kind of get cozy and relax after a giant fight, we'll say. Ha ha ha, puns. But you're able to go to sleep and feel pretty refreshed the next morning. Which, I need to make it a new day. Ta-da!
It's a brand new day.
Ooh, that's loud. Turn that down. Ah. And you all wake up to a a thunderstorm. Kind of the thunder clap is what wakes you all up. Slowly, one by one, as thunder kind of creeps through. I was going to say, you all can't see that. Good. Okay. And as you all wake up and you see that the campfire has been doused and it's raining fairly decent outside of the tents that you have, or if you're using the Mudslick Tower, it's pretty hard to see to where you take it that anything farther than 20 feet from you is partially obscured, so harder to see. You can see it, but it's kind of difficult to tell just from the downpour of the rain. But you do, I forgot to mention that, but you do still have, I think, the wagon that you traveled with, which is covered. And so someone will have to, run the horses, so they will get wet unless they cover themselves. But everybody else, if you would like, you could stay inside the covered portion. But yeah. What would you like to do as you wake up?
I can run the horses.
Okay.
Is there any way I could just teleport us all back?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you could do that too. Yeah.
I literally took
I forgot you have
spell.
teleport, yeah. Yeah, and so I need to look again because I think if you've been there, what is the effect?
Well, wait, if we're going back, oh, no, for Luskin, yeah, I didn't have. Right, I didn't think about that.
I think when you take the spell, you learn 2 of them.
Oh, I got more than 2. Let's just say that much. But there isn't one for Luskin.
Destination you select. I would say that you're definitely at least like you'd be in the scene casually familiarity, because I mean, like, I wouldn't know if you're very familiar, but you've been there and you've stayed the night there, so.
You know what? I like those odds.
Yeah, so
and suddenly we get teleported and we are now in Eberron. Thank you. Good night.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that risk.
But yeah, you can grab Everett because it's up to 8 willing creatures. So there's 5 of you plus 2 horses, and then we'll say the wagon will count as a person.
Can the horses actually be willing though?
It does seem like they're trained.
Do we know if they'd want to be?
I mean,
can you not make this more complicated than it needs
we could get into the ethics and morality of animals, since we do have a druid here.
Horse teleportation.
Oh, there we go.
Toad's got the answer for us.
Toad, you want to try to speak to the 2 horses?
Well, everyone else would just hear me neigh, but I asked them if they are willing to be teleported to a distant land, far, far away from here.
Did they say nay?
They neigh. They neigh back, but to Toad, one of them speaks up and pretty much says that they could use a rest. The travel was pretty long, pulling a wagon. They're not necessarily meant to pull wagons. It's just that somebody grabbed the largest horses they could and tied them to this wagon, so they're not necessarily trained to do it, and so they're pretty beat. And so they would gladly take a quick trip somewhere.
I'll apologize to them for being mistaken as traveling horses on someone's behalf.
Yeah, they understand it wasn't your guys' fault. They were, told to transport you, and so that's what they do. They do it as they're told. So. Okay, yeah. So now you can all fit inside a 10-foot cube, because we'll say that the horses on either side of the wagon and all of you cram inside the wagon like on top of each other. And Chitter, go ahead and roll a D100.
I was about to say, let me try casting a spell and see if it rolls one automatically.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. And I'm curious to see if it has a animation with it. Oh, it asks me to do it. That's nice. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay. So I get the power.
Oh no! What?
Oh, is it rolling for everybody? What did it do?
It rolled damage.
Oh,
rolled damage.
I'll reverse all that. That's weird. Oh no, but it was a mishap.
Oh, so it did roll out. Oh shit. Wow, wait.
I'm gonna
Damn.
revert that damage. Where are you? Is your oh, I get to choose. Oh my gosh. It then like lets me choose a location up to 285 feet from where your token was to teleport you. I'm just going to put you right back where you were. Okay. So yeah, that was a mishap.
15 damage.
Mishap. Okay. So with that, number of rounds result of each teleported creature or the target object takes, oh my gosh, so everybody will take, oh gosh, 3d10 force damage. So since it already rolled, everybody takes 15 damage, and then rolls on the table to see where you wind up. Multiple mishaps and occur deal damage each time. Okay, wait, what table? Oh, this one. Oh gosh, okay, hold on, give me a second.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, so I then need to roll a d100. Oh, there it is.
Are you
auto roll for you.
proficient with this magic?
No, I just got it like a week ago.
We should not be toying with this.
We didn't have a problem going to fucking Neverwinter.
You got lucky though, as you all still end up in Luskin. I don't know if you can see it, Chitter. I'd assume you can, but it was a mishap, and then for the second roll on where you landed on target. So you got lucky.
I didn't see any of the rolls.
Oh, cool.
So.
That's cool. But you literally just barely made it on target though.
Okay, so DM, would I know more about like that kind of spell as a wizard?
You've definitely heard and seen people use teleport before, yes. Oops, get that out of here.
But would I know about like that it's usually used to teleport to circles?
You would know that it's the most effective when you're teleporting to a circle, yes. And then after that, it's more just based off of the familiarity that the caster has. Yeah, you would, in essence, know how it's used, being that it's the most successful with a already placed circle. Yeah.
We definitely didn't seem to have any trouble getting to Neverwinter. I'll say that much.
But you
Never
do make
again.
It
What? No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just a small mishap. It happens.
I imagine you all, like, when you get teleported and you look at each other, all of your hair is like standing on edge, like you've just been through a wind tunnel.
Until it happens again.
Oops, and then I need to do this. We're back in Luskin.
Look, the odds are low in most of the places that can take us. There's no chance of failure. It's fine.
Okay. Would there be a specific place you're thinking of, Chitter, in Luskin?
Probably like the gates we left out of.
Okay, gotcha. So I'll leave it on this one. Toad, what were you gonna say?
Is it also still raining in Luskin?
Yeah, you were a few days away from Luskin's travel, but only like a handful of miles. It was, I think, I just found an ant. That's weird. I think it was like 20 miles, 20, 30 miles. So it seems like the weather has followed.
You dare squish my friend.
Too late. Already dead. It is a nice 66. 66 degrees. Thunderstorm. But yeah, you come back to the salty town of Luskin. Mm-hmm.
Can you use Celsius, not Fahrenheit, please?
Nope.
Learn freedom units or get bent, buddy.
That's great.
Freedom units are superior.
Yeah. I almost thought about doing that just because of you and Josh, just to make everybody else suffer. But then I was like, you know what? The way that I look at temperature is Fahrenheit is what does the temperature feel like to a human. Celsius is what it feels like to water. And then Kelvin is for atoms. And we are not atoms or water. We are humans. So get over it.
Exactly.
Do you know what 66 feels like, though? Just because I'm curious.
19C.
Say it's
Okay,
probably
nerd.
what my house is at right now.
Yeah.
Damn, you're keeping it cool.
I like
set
it.
to, what is that? Mine's set to 23 or 24C right now.
Oh, you actually, I was about to say, do you set it to Caesar or are you just saying that for him?
No, I have the Google
Oh, gotcha.
converter open.
Okay. I was about to say,
I can check
wow.
the numbers in.
So, But yeah, it's a nice balmy day. You in Luskin, same thing. Yeah, I don't think you've been here since it's rained. Maybe you have. I can't remember. But the smell of the sea is very strong, and the mustiness. Whenever it rains, it kind of kicks all of that back up, and you see puddles that have been there for a long time start to get filled with fresh water from the rain. And so you notice all these little creatures and critters come to the puddles to get a fresh drink after stagnant water has been sitting there for so long. And it looks like maybe for some buildings and some people, this rain gives them, the first shower they've had since the last rain. Very much needed. What would you like to do?
Valana starts heading for the tower.
Okay.
I will follow.
These bitches.
Dun, dun, dun.
Are you referring to the Brotherhood or to us?
Yes.
Awesome.
Damn, it's just a bit of teleport damage. Oh, like as you like stomp off, she starts following, like maybe not quite at the same pace, and he shouts out like, "It's just a bit of teleport damage. You're fine. You've taken worse."
That's not the point.
But friends aren't supposed to hurt each other.
It was an accident. I'm working on it.
You never even said you were sorry.
I mean, I didn't mean to do it though. Like, fine. I'm sorry.
Accepted.
Accepted.
Sorry, I'm finding my notes this spot.
I figured as much, which is why we were bullshitting.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Okay. You start walking towards the tower, and you run into McCath, the apprentice to the Arcane Brotherhood, who has kind of been your go-between for you and the Brotherhood. As one, she is an apprentice, so she's like the first level, so she kind of has not necessarily more freedom, but just is seen outside of the tower more. She trains under Overwizard Teva the Grey, and since commoners in essence is how they view you guys right now, they don't just get audiences with the Overwizards out of the blue for anything. McCath has kind of been your go-between, and as you kind of run into her, she sees you maybe not looking tired or beaten, but she knew of what you just went to do and that you're back. So she says, I didn't expect to see you back so soon, but I assume that was successful then. You're all here and accounted for. She kind of looks around to make sure everybody's here.
I look over at Toad, and Ethereum, I guess, expecting them to just toss the head forward.
Okay.
Let's say, can I just pull out the head of Captain Thurnak?
Yeah, you pull the head out, and as you pull it out, she quickly like lunges to like put it like cover it and put it back in the bag, and she goes, don't pull that out here. You don't just hold a severed head in the middle of town. I know Luskin's rough, but jeez, just wait. Let's go talk to the Brotherhood. I will meet you at the tower and let you know what he says. Just meet me there. And she kind of like says, geez, one more time as she turns around and starts heading towards the tower.
Who is he?
As Chitter as I assume we start following along, Chitter like turns to the group and is like, I mean, two of these guys were attacking the town like, a few days ago. I feel like the people would celebrate if we fucking pulled that thing out.
Honestly, I expected the same. I don't think they would care for a giant being dead.
One, you kind of hear an older gentleman come up close to you and kind of whispering out the side of his mouth goes, I saw what you got. I'll take it off your hands for a nice price. You looking to sell? And he's like shadily looking around at like the alleys behind you and around you.
Chitter's gonna be like, I don't know if that's for sale, but I got these. And he like reaches in his bag of holding and like pulls out in his hands like between each of his fingers, because he'd have essentially 4 spots on each hand. Pulls out all 8 giant toes.
Oh my god!
Like holding them like cigars or carrots between his fingers. Like, I got these.
He looks at you and he doesn't even look worried or anything. he kind of goes wide-eyed and he goes, "Oh, you got the toes. That's pretty useful." He reaches into his pouch and he holds. You said you had 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also have 1 DM. I also have
A one?
1.
Okay, so there's 9 total. And he pulls out like his coin purse and he starts like pulling out gold pieces. And he goes, what say 28 gold for all of them? They're just toes.
Make it an even 30.
Kind of looks you over and he goes, no offense, ma'am, but the men are doing the talking. And he looks back at Chitter and he goes, what do you say, 28? That's a fair deal, right?
We're gonna be if you're gonna
Wait.
Excuse me.
But I was gonna be an asshole back.
Can my eyes start glowing like an ominous red?
Ooh, sure, yeah.
Are you standing like directly behind me?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a consider like kind of go off of that and be like, I'm thinking 36 now. If you're gonna be a dick to my colleague.
And he looks at the
Maybe an even 40.
he looks at the 3 of you. He seems a little cocky, and seeing Toad your eyes, 19, that's pretty high. You see him like kind of pull back his cloak a little bit, and you see 2 daggers on his side, like he's trying to flash what he's got. And as he does that, he notices, because Valana, you have what, short sword?
Rapier.
A rapier, and Chitter has one. Therion would have his huge mace. Like, as he does it, he starts to look a little more, and he slowly like hides them and puts his hands up. And he goes, "I'm on second thought, I think I'm okay. You have a good day." And he like turns around slowly.
Oh yeah, okay. What about an ivory beard comb?
He stops, looks back at you, and he kind of like inquisitive. He goes, "You got a comb up there? Prove it. Let me see."
Whip out this giant-sized ivory beard comb.
He looks at it and he gets ready to give you an offer, and you hear and almost like you see him get almost tackled out of the way as another man like quickly stands up and brushes himself off, and he goes, "Don't listen to him. He's a crazy old kook. He doesn't know anything. I'll happily give you whatever you'd like for these. You've got a comb and some toes. Let's make it an even 75 for everything." And he holds his hand out, and you see he's got like a bunch of jewelry donning his fingers and his wrist, but even you at a quick glance can tell it's very cheap, like crap silver that's been plated in gold that's not worth anything. He's obviously using it to look fancier than he is.
But at the bottom of the comb, it says it's worth 50 GP.
He's look.
Obviously, we're being taken for fools.
He tries to like recover. He goes, I'm not taking anyone for fools. Yes, 50 gold is definitely what it could go for if it's being sold to the general market. I'm just a middleman. I'm going to sell this thing myself. I'm simply taking the work away from you. It's not every day you find someone who's going to buy giant things.
Well, this god above me said it shrank into my hands.
He looks around and he goes, actually, he doesn't go to you, Toad. He looks at Cherry and goes, your friend there okay? If you're talking about gods, I didn't think machines could think.
Yeah, he's got a few magic runes loose. You never know. You never know. He could snap at any moment. So really, I think 80 would be closer to a fair price.
By this time, the first guy is getting up, like rubbing his head. And he's like, "Oh gosh, Kaladin, why do you got to do that every time? You take them. I don't want this crap." And he turns around, just like keep rubbing his head and walk away. And This guy slowly is mulling it over, and he goes, 80 gold. Okay, for all the problems we've had, sure. And he holds his hand out again for like a handshake.
Not knowing what a handshake is, I'll just put the comb in his hand.
I thought they were gonna like fist bump his open hand or something.
He grabs it and looks kind of down at what you just gave him and back up to you like, what is he? Then he goes to put it in his like bag and sees the rest of you looking at him still, and he's like, okay, I'm not gonna take it. And he pulls out his money and he hands Toad, he hands you in essence 50 gold, and then for the toes he gives Chitter 26, and then Valana 4. Just kind of quick.
I punch him.
Okay. Do
I just straight up deck him.
do an unarmed attack. So for you, that would be. Let me see what's your bonus. Yeah, unarmed strike. Oh, I guess I kind of need you to have a target probably for it.
I can punch Felix.
Yeah, just let me move you a little closer. Let's just do that, and then I'll revert any damage done to him.
Sorry, Felix.
Man, I should have him shield right now. Nah.
Oh, and he's badly injured because he hasn't had time to long rest yet.
Yeah, I got to do that for him. Okay, yeah. With the 24, you definitely. What is it like? How quick of a punch is this?
Oh, this is fucking like as soon as he even goes to hand her 4, it's immediate. Just nothing held back.
Nice. Yeah, and you are you going like for the gut or the face?
Face right into the chin and cheek.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you all see as Valana with crazy speed just decks this guy in the face and almost sends him back, 10 feet, like knocking him off his feet and onto his back. And as he lands, you see the fake rings and jewelry that he's wearing kind of clink around and fall off his fingers because it's oversized for him, so it kind of gets scattered about. And a few people that have been standing around kind of start to laugh at what just happened. Oh. That's weird, Toad. I will
have
defer.
editing turned on.
Huh.
I will hand 11 gold to Valana, so we both get 15 out of our thing.
Gotcha. Okay. And Toad, I've added it to you. I don't know what happened.
Thank you.
Thank you. And at this time, like Vlada's shaking her hand, like, fucking hurts.
Should have gone for the belly. Probably would have been softer.
He's just laying there, pretty
Yeah.
much knocked out. Uh-huh.
You forgot 10 gold.
Oh, I did? Did I do the math
Yeah,
wrong in my head?
I had 73.
Oh.
Whoa, is it me or did Toad get louder?
Yeah,
I got
think
closer to my mic.
he got closer. Yeah, I was about to say.
That makes
That
sense.
seemed I thought that was intentional.
He just accidentally starts to eat his microphone.
I don't need to. God, I don't need to hear that ASMR. don't make me get out the fried chicken ASMR. I will do that.
Oh gosh, no, thank you.
Should
Yeah.
maybe find that. I'll explain after the session. Where should we find that real quick?
Thanks. Okay, so then yeah, Chitter, you sold your toe or the toes, not your toes. So I will get rid of those for you.
His talons?
Man, that would be a crazy campaign if I made you guys go to a town where Kenku were actually hunted for like their talons and beaks. That would be nuts. That'd be mean. Okay, just making sure I clean out inventories. Every beard comb, sold that. And Balana, yours was your one toe. There it is. Okay. And then, oh, I also need for Chitter, I need to give you the other The other letter that you found, that way you've got it.
Oh damn! Don't forget all the extra gold from the other scene,
Yes.
because not everyone was able to loot the same monsters.
Yes, I will make sure that
Or-
gets done.
Not everyone like looted the same monsters. I think we just throw all of that into the party fund.
Yeah. Maybe this over here. And upload this photo. Okay. While I'm finishing this up, so after that that fun little encounter, you all continue to head to Arcane Brotherhood, or the host tower of the Arcane, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're following What's Your Bucket.
Even when he's not here, Jeremy is still with us. Captain Thurnack. Okay, Chitter, that letter is in your inventory with the translated version. That way you can read it. Okay. So, a few minutes pass by. Mm-hmm.
Can I give a vial of troll blood to everyone?
Oh, yeah, you looted, what, 5?
Yes.
Damn.
You sure can. Let me...
You have the ability to. Oh, we don't. Okay.
Yeah, there's the request trade button, but it's kind of annoying, so I'm just gonna...
Oh, there you guys.
Yeah. I'll just move it all over.
I've never done it as a player. So.
It's my first time.
But I
I've
like
never
it.
done this.
But it's like I always find it really cute when my players do it because it's like a little video game. Like I'll give you this, you give me this, and both players confirm it, and like
Yeah. It's one of those small things where you're like, is this really going to be useful? And it's not like useful, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. Okay, and the vials of troll blood have been shared. Everybody has 1. Okay. And after a few minutes of walking towards the host tower of the Arcane, the very tall, tree-like building in Luskin, with spindly branches that stick out, you get closer, and it has this familiar, what's it called? Shoot! Why I just totally lost the word. And in essence, when you get closer to it, it feels like it changes shape from the tree that you feel like it looks from a distance. It changes from that into more of a hand, like a skeletal hand that reaches out with its fingers stretching in all directions. And you get to the... do I have... Yes, I do. Yes. You get to the little gate entrance area, and you see McCaff is standing there waiting for you. Thought I had this, but I don't. Okay. It's fine. She, oh, this is what I wanted. Okay. Trying to find a good music track for this. Let's do... See what this sounds like. Could be loud, so I apologize. That works. Okay. As she sees you all approaching, she was leaning against the entrance gate, and she walks over to greet you with kind of a smile. She's not like beaming. She doesn't seem like she's a very emotionally expressive person, but she has like a slight tint of a smile, and she goes, "You've done well. I've convinced the Overwizard to grant you audience, but tread carefully. Overwizard Teva does not abide fools or questions he does not ask first. Just be careful." And she kind of looks at you, kind of not verbally, but as if to ask, are you ready to go?
I mean, I suppose.
Yeah, let's get on with it.
Okay. So you see as she turns and waves her hand in a very specific motion, which for, I mean, all of you, you are magic users at some level, can tell that she is casting a spell of some kind. And what looks to be just walkway to the host tower, you notice now a very faint sheen kind of starts to almost burn away in front of the gate, and you take it this is the force field or protective ward kind of opening up to let people in. And she walks in first, and then still kind of holding her hand up as if holding a curtain open, she motions for you all to follow through the hole so she can then close it behind. Okay. And you all walk through. She lets go, and you feel like you can hear the singeing happen as the field starts to reconnect itself together. And as soon as it does, you hear the thunderstorm and the rain stop as it's very silent inside of this dome. The only thing you really hear is a very quiet movement of water. You notice that even if the winds from the storm outside make the river that flows through and out of Luskin is fairly choppy and wavy, as soon as it gets to that field that encompasses the host tower of the arcane, the waves get cut as if hitting a physical wall, and the water inside is very still and calm. There's no fish you see swimming, nothing. It's very much intent on keeping this place protected from anything, even the weather outside. And McCath continues to walk as if, there's nothing weird. She walks across the bridge and makes to the base of the tower. And as you all approach, you realize there's not a door to the tower. She walks to, there's strategically placed circles of stone in the ground, every 10 feet all the way around the tower. And she goes over to one. She stands in this circle of stone, like on this circle of stone, and she kneels and she starts almost writing with her finger on the stones. And you watch as everything she writes just glows and holds its glow. And you can, once again, all of you being pretty much spellcasters, specifically Valana being a wizard, and probably for Felix, you can tell that what she's doing, she's this is more of a ritual that is being cast. And so she's kind of sitting there tracing, and she finishes all of these runes and symbols all the way around the edge of this stone circle. And when she's done, you see the light shine a little brighter, and she stands and backs out a little bit, and she motions, and as she kind of motions for one of you to stand on this ward, she says, when you arrive outside of Overwizard Teva's door, don't do anything but just stand there and wait. No one will come and talk to you. That is not rudeness. That is the law that we abide by in the host tower of the arcane. If you wonder and you are found by anyone other than myself, I cannot promise what happens. It's very rare that commoners are allowed inside the tower, so I please urge that once you arrive, you wait until I can let you in. And then she kind of motions for whoever wants to be first to go.
I guess Valana will.
Okay. She motions as you walk forward, and she kind of nods at you, and you stand in this circle of runes. And as you do, you hear her whisper probably the incantation, and she almost, it looks like she would be almost petting your hair, but she's not touching you, and she follows the curvature of your body all the way down to your feet. And when she gets to your feet, she touches the stones, and your vision goes black for a second. For the rest of you, you see as Valana instantly just disappears. And Valana, your vision comes back to you, and you're inside of this what seems like almost a sitting room, an entrance to a larger house. Now there's a few sofas along the sides and a very nice stone masonry work on the floor with some wood pillars along the wall and ornate artwork and things like that. And then a very large wooden door in front of you as you kind of appear in this waiting room. Who would be next to go?
I guess Shooter can go, and as he kind of steps forward, he would also kind of mutter under his breath, like, "Man, the Harpers weren't this big of dicks."
Okay. As you get closer, you hear McCath kind of, before she starts, says, "I know, but the Harpers don't have as much secrets to protect as the Brotherhood does." She just kind of smiles, smirks a little, and she does the same thing. She kind of traces the outline of your body, speaking the words, and touches the ground, and you get teleported into somewhere in the tower. And as you come to, you see Valana right next to you. Valana, you see as Chitter poofs right beside you in the same kind of waiting room. Toad, I'm assuming you're next.
Yep.
Okay. You walk forward, same thing. You appear next to Valana on her other side, and then Aetherion and Felix quickly behind you. And it takes a few seconds before you hear McCath appear. You take it probably she had to like deactivate the ward or something, or do something to kind of close the quote unquote door. And she comes in and she walks around in front of you. You see that she's kind of cleaned herself up and like pressed her cloak a little more, buttoned it up, and she's got her hands kind of clasped in front of her, seeming very proper. And she goes, does she say anything specific? No. Okay. She just kind of says, "Please just wait to say anything until Overwizard speaks first. And once again, don't wander if you can unless he asks for you to sit." She kind of bows and turns. She doesn't move her hands, and the door just slowly opens, and she leads you into this room. I wish I had a picture. I should have made one. But as you walk into what you take to be Overwizard Teva's room, the chamber is very vast, especially for even in this tower. It feels like this room is way too big. And so the chamber is very vast. It's circular, and you can almost feel this humming with magic or a magical force in it. You see shelves drift through the air, almost like boats over a sea of this very faint mist. And at the far end, seated at a very polished obsidian desk shaped like a dragon's fang almost, you see a pale half-elf in deep violet robes, his eyes glowing faintly blue, and you see like 3 books floating in front of him as he slowly kind of pans from one to the other, and the pages all flip at the same time, as he's seems to be studying or reading or something. Do I have a picture of him? Probably do somewhere that I'll send at some point. But and pretty much as soon as the last one of you comes through and the door closes, there's no sound. It's very quiet. Do I have... Actually, I bet I do. I have a specific sound for this room. Host tower. There it is. Okay. Pause that. Get this started just to have that ambience going. Whoa, really loud, really loud. Pull that back. There we go. Okay. You walk through. The last one of you walks through, and the door, you, instead of hearing it, you kind of feel it shut behind you, like that's a slight little gust of wind. And the Overwizard, without really breaking eye contact with his books first, speaks and goes, "You've done well. The Brotherhood is not in the habit of thanking outsiders, but let it be said, your actions spared Luskin further bloodshed." And real quickly, you hear all 3 books shut and then get stacked neatly on this fang-shaped desk. And now looking at you, he stands and then leans forward his desk a little to kind of look at you better and says, "Now then, you spoke I think of phylacteries. Tell me, what interest does a group like yours have in such things?
Are we allowed to speak?
He looks over at you, Toad, and with a kind of not an evil, conniving smile, but a very smart-assy smile, I guess, says, I did ask you a question, did I not?
Guys?
Twisting his mustache. Yes.
Cheddar.
Twirls his mustache. That's great.
It's that smile.
Yes.
We're looking for a way to destroy one.
He doesn't really change his expression and leans back a little bit from, leaning forward over his desk and goes, interesting. Dangerous knowledge, but knowledge nonetheless. I would not indulge it lightly, though. Well, do you have a phylactery with you?
And I pull out this magical orb.
Yeah. As you pull it out, the hum of magic you all kind of hear and feel in this room goes silent, and instead you couldn't tell that the room was lit. You could see very well. It's not like you were using dark vision, but you don't notice any candles, or like the windows aren't necessarily letting light in per se, because it's a very overcast day, but somehow it feels like you can see everything just fine. So there's definitely some sort of a magic light happening in here. But Toad, as you pull out the cardamanic sphere, the phylactery of Ashundo, it feels like all the light just gets sucked into the orb. The vision you had feels like it gets very hazy and almost dark, and the orb starts to glow as if it quickly wanted to pull in all the magic, or if all the magic that's in this room gravitated towards it. And the hum goes silent to where all you hear is the creaking of the boards, or a clock that's ticking off on one of the walls, and the shelves every now and again as they float over your head, you can like hear a light thump as they kind of flutter by. And after all this happens, the overwizard now walks around his desk very quickly to you, and you see his eyes are fixed on this sphere, and he goes to hold his hands out to grab it, but before he does, he like stops himself and he looks at you, Toad, and goes, may I?
Just don't drop it.
Before he
Under
grabs
the
it,
orb.
DM, can I insight him?
Yeah, go ahead and do an insight check, please.
Yeah, we got to figure out if he wants to ponder it or not.
Twirl his mustache while he watches the sphere. 12. He's very like stone faced. Like he is showing the emotion he still was when you came into the room. Even though you can tell from his movement he was intrigued, his face doesn't really change anything. And he's very calm. His hands don't shake at all. He's got his eyes aren't darting from everyone. When he talks to someone, he's looking right at them, and it is an intentional conversation. It's kind of what you pick up from what he's like, how he's acting, and it doesn't seem too unreal for that to be the thought, as from what you all kind of learned from the Arcane Brotherhood in the short amount of time. At their heart, they are magic researchers. There is no moral code for them that's not good or bad. It is just knowledge. They want to learn everything they can about anything to do with magic. And so he's kind of expressing the same emotion you would expect to see from a researcher of any type of lore if you were to give them a piece of that lore. Like intrigued, but they're also, they know they're in charge, so they're not necessarily really asking. It's more of a like a politeness.
Interesting.
And Toad, in response to what you said, he answers and he goes, I wasn't going to touch it. And as he says that, you see the orb float from your hand, like he's holding his hands out as if he's going to grab it, but you notice he is casting some sort of magic on it to not actually touch it. And he moves over to where one of the windows is, or one of the windows are in his room, which you now realize they don't actually look out, or at least not right now. They aren't. They are more like a frosted glass. And he walks over to it, and you see this like three-pronged, kind of matching the desk, obsidian stand. And he sets it down, and then once it sets down, you see the light return to the room, and the hum of magic responds back. And he then grabs the stand and pulls it over to the desk and sets it on his desk and goes back around and sits down, and he starts to look at it. And it takes a few minutes of just almost silence as he's just studying a sphere. He's not touching, he's not writing, he's not speaking, he's just looking at it. And
Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was like, he's just pondering.
He is just pondering. And a few minutes go by, almost to the point where it's uncomfortable for all of you just standing there. And he looks back at you and he says, how did you come about such a unholy relic? Liches are not common, and the magic by which a phylactery is made is very frowned upon and very powerful.
We killed a Mitch a few weeks back.
You notice there is a change in his facial expression, and he looks at you, Chitter, and the stare he gives is very intense. Even though like he's not looking angry, just the very direct eye contact and intentionality behind this stare makes you feel uneasy for a second. And he goes, were you the group that helped Phandalin? I remember hearing about that. I didn't realize it was a lich and this close to the Sword Coast. Was there any help? Did the Lord's Alliance reach out or provide aid?
No.
And you see him crack a smile. He goes, well, this is why morals and ethics have no place in magic. If someone can choose to help or aid others in a quest to vanquish so-called evil, well, then is it really evil if they don't help? He kind of sits back a little more comfortably. He goes, unfortunately, I cannot help you destroy this. Phylacteries, as you probably are aware, are very specific to the creator. It takes years to create one, and even longer to perfect it and hide it away. The fact that you've come this far is accomplishment enough, and I do commend you for that. And he kind of, I would assume, you can correct me if I'm wrong, he sees like looks of disappointment on your faces.
A little bit, yeah.
We killed a whole bunch of shit for you, and we traveled all this way, and we got kicked out of Phandalin, so yeah, it'd be pretty,
We had to go on a fetch quest for them.
I would say Valana's less disappointed and more unsurprised.
Okay. You notice he scans all of your faces and he goes, I know that is not the answer you came looking for, but this trip is not in vain. I can offer you some solace. Magic tends to be hard to come by to destroy such a strong artifact. If there was magic that was easily obtained to destroy such a thing, liches would not be as powerful or as detrimental to the world as they are. But I have heard and read of phylacteries that were physically able to be destroyed, not purely by magic, but by a magical artifact itself to destroy one. And he sits for a second, and you see his hand reach out, and not even looking, he kind of motions behind him as an older looking book comes in front and opens itself up, and he, without touching, flips a few pages, and he finds the page he's looking for, and he goes, "Ah, yes, the famed dwarves of the northern mountains. They're very, very apt at their craftsmanship. There was one lich long time ago whose phylactery was nothing more than a silly sword. It seems very mundane, something that can easily be found or destroyed. However, once touched by a mortal man, their mind was his. Thus, how it was so safe. If the person holding your phylactery is someone you control, then you're never really without it, are you?" It flips a page and he goes, "But it was destroyed eventually when a dwarf from Citadel Adbar in the far northeast created a relic so holy, infused with so much light, and he quotes his fingers and he goes, 'Good if you must,' that when someone worthy enough to wield it finally smashed the phylactery, it turned into nothing more than ash, and you could almost feel the souls leave." And he shuts the book and puts it back. He goes, "So if nothing else, you have learned there are other ways to destroy phylacteries than just magic. Now, I can't say you should or should not continue to look for what I would assume is the Cult of the Dragon." He kind of pulls another book out quickly and he opens it, and it looks like the same one, Valana, that Brother Cadron at Lady Runeheart's Manor was reading from. And he goes, "I can imagine," and he's looking at you, Valana, he goes, "that your family probably has a book just like this and has told you, at least you, of the Draco Lich ritual." And he almost seems annoyed. He flips a few pages and he goes, "It is a very trustworthy source. If anything could destroy a phylactery, it would be something of a lich, especially one so powerful that a dragon has merged. But Draco Liches are hard to find. Draco Liches are nothing more than really myth, something you tell children in scary bedtime stories so they eat their vegetables. But if you must continue to search for this rather than meet with the dwarves of Adbar, I have heard that there may be sects of the cult starting to form again. They were luckily thwarted back when they tried to raise their devil goddess dragon. But there's been rumors that they're coming back." And he kind of shuts that book, puts it back, and he looks at all of you, and you actually hear the first person to talk is Macath. She goes, Over Wizard, I don't mean to be rude, but these few over here have done a lot for Luskin and for us. We sent them to go deal with the giant problem, and they have." And she kind of nudges toward you to pull out the head again.
Okay. I'll pull out Captain Thurmack's head.
You pull out the head, and she goes, "Is there really nothing more that we can do for them?" And you see once again Overwizard Teva get annoyed by this and almost speaks out. And as he gets ready to say something, the door, now you actually hear it, slams open, and behind you, you see run in a younger apprentice, older than Macath, but younger than all of you. Well, maybe not Felix. But he's cloaked in tattered robes, and he stumbles in, panting and wide-eyed. And Yeah, and so the person that just raced in says, they're lying to the dragon. The ritual, it's not to empower him, it's to trap him. I've seen the altar. I stole a piece of the codex. They're going to make him a Dracolich and bind him to the cult's will. And as you turn back, you see Overwizard Teva is standing now, and a slight expression of concern across his face, and the person who runs in slams a scroll on his desk and says, they used me to feed the lie. I can't go back, but maybe somebody else can. I return the codex to them and ingratiate yourselves. Learn what they're hiding. And you see Teva's lips kind of curl into a slow smile, and he relaxes a little more. He goes, well, now, that's interesting. McCath quickly grabs this other person and like starts to console him, and they go sit in one of the sofas as they murmur together. And Overwizard Teva looks at you, and he stands up again and he goes, well, it seems that fate must be on your side, as my apprentice Zaz over here has just returned from a mission to infiltrate a recent Cult of the Dragon sect that I have heard had started to start this process, not necessarily nearby, but within my reach. And as he says that, Zaz kind of speaks up, and he goes, I learned everything I could, and I'm glad that I stole this, but Overwizard, they were attacked. Fire giants came out of nowhere in the night and destroyed everything. I was everything I could to leave, and I think they took the Worm Speaker himself. And you kind of see Teva smile again, but he hasn't said anything yet. Anything anybody wants to do?
Valana's gonna look over at her companions, and she's just going to say, this is all adding up a little bit too conveniently, isn't it?
She's just gonna look back at her and go, or he'll like whisper, like, we still in the simulation?
He kind of looks at you and continues, and he goes, it seems that maybe you're closer to a Dracolich than you thought, than I even thought.
Toad, head.
Oh, I guess, yeah, you did put the head on there. So, let me think. Can whoever wants to do a perception check?
Gladly.
Kind of forgot that you showed him the head of Captain Thurnak.
Is it perception?
Yes. 18. Okay. As he after all the commotion kind of happened, he sat back down. Chitter, you noticed he looked at the head again, and you swear you got a glimpse of maybe worry or confusion, and then for a split second you could have swore that you saw satisfaction. And he sits down and he goes, if you would like, I think Zaz could tell you where this cult was, and maybe, like he said, you can befriend them and maybe even help them rescue their Worm Speaker and complete their ritual.
But wouldn't that make us part of the bad team?
You see his smile grows very wide at this, and he goes, that's just it, isn't it? What is good and bad? You just told me no one helped you when you fought the Lich.
And what do you get out of it?
quickly looks back to you, Valana, and he goes, to be honest, if I may, when the ritual happens, I don't know what you understand of the Dracolich ritual, but before a dragon can be, and he kind of sits for a second, not wanting to show that he doesn't know a whole lot, but he pauses, and you hear Zaz, like the other apprentice, speak up and kind of say, he goes, what happens is they find a dragon. They try to convince them that they want to be a Dracolich. They can't just overpower any dragon to become a Dracolich. It has to be a willing creature. And he continues, he goes, once they find it, there's a whole ritual around becoming a Dracolich. Part of the ritual is speaking to Daurgathoth himself. Daurgathoth is in charge of all of the cult of the dragon, and he approves the next Dracolich to be made. If Daurgathoth approves, the ritual is complete. If not, the cult gets destroyed. And Overwizard Teva kind of interjects again. He goes, I would very much like to meet Daurgathoth and learn what I can. I would be the first wizard here in the host tower to learn about undeath from a Dracolich.
Shitter's staying silent only because there's about a million things he wants to say and he knows none of them are the right response right now.
Same at this point.
And, yeah, a few minutes of silence goes by.
Well, I mean, it'd probably be seconds. He'd be like, interesting. All right. He'd like trying to kind of agree without actually agreeing to anything.
Yeah, just like doing what you think he wants to hear. Just like, yeah, sure, what, kind of a thing.
Because I think I said this last session, but I definitely. Let me see.
I want to insight him again, please.
Sure. It's been long enough of a conversation.
Fuck,
A little better.
15, okay. Disjunction. Oh, I just now saw that post-disjunction spell. Great gift. Yeah, with the 15, you can definitely tell he's kind of dropped his guard of what emotion he's wanting to show. Not maybe that he's losing control of the conversation, but that he wants to really have this happen. Like what he's saying is very honest, that he does want to learn this information. Once again, going along with researchers, like, this makes sense. It's never been heard before that someone has learned from a lich, let alone a Dracolich that is stuff of legend and myth. And so there's definitely a pride aspect to it of, I would be the first, maybe this lets him become a higher ranking in the host tower. Maybe this, you're not really sure the intention of like his goal there, but it seems like he's being very truthful of, like, his really only thing with this is knowledge, like learning from and experiencing Daurgathoth would give him clout above all else, in essence. And then a few minutes of kind of just, you're almost like just looking at each other, trying to see who's going to make the first break in the silence, him or you guys. And he finally kind of sits back and relaxes, and he goes, so it's settled. I'll have Zaz show you on a map where their cult was last seen. After you've made yourself part and helped them rescue their worm speaker and completed their ritual, all that I ask is you warn me of your location and when it will happen. And he hands you a stone, and looks like a standard sending stone. And he goes, use this to contact me and I can be there immediately. He's like, that's all that I ask, is you let me experience this as well.
I mean, Chitter will take it.
Okay. Yep, you can grab the sending stone. It seems very, like a regular sending stone that you can communicate with. Pocket it. And he kind of sits back down, opens up his books again, and he like waves you away with his hand. And he He says, "McCath, please show our guests out." And she gets up with Zaz, and they kind of walk over to you and kind of politely urge you to turn and follow them out.
One more thing before we go.
He looks up from his book inquisitively.
I wondered if I might take a moment of your time.
He smiles and he goes, "Of course." And he waves the others off, and as you get to the door, he yells out a little bit. He goes, "Oh, another thing for your troubles. Please grab a handful from my coffer." And you see and hear a click as a chest right by the door opens up, and you see just piles of gold. As if like, here's your payment, grab you a handful, and as you walk out. So each of you roll a D100 for me.
So what we're like casting large on Toad.
I mean, I was gonna say, I have a bag of holding. It's called we go over and you all start scooping.
You can try whatever you would like.
Valana can't, but you guys can go ham.
I mean, I have Bigby's hand. We could just, pick up the whole pot. Okay.
He never specified what hand.
This is true, but I'm already concerned enough about everything here that I don't want to make him angry.
I know.
So D100?
Yeah, D100 and I'll roll for Ethereon and Felix in essence.
Oh wow, come on.
And
I know she's small, but come on.
And I will give my 60, I'm assuming that's gold, I'll give my 60 gold to Toad.
Wow.
Oh wow, a 9. Yeah, that's pretty low.
Which coincidentally means he just got 69 gold, so.
It is not just 60, it is times 10. So Valana 230, Chitter 600, and Toad 90. So you can add those to your coffers, your personal coffers.
I will still give the
we
60
could have
to
gotten
Toad.
up to 1,000 and we all get low numbers.
I got a decent amount.
You notice as you pull your hand out and you start to put it in your pocket, even though you probably only actually have in your hand enough for maybe 60 gold, as you start to drop the coins into your pouch, you can feel them multiplying as they fall. And you realize, oh, there must have been something on this to where this is not just like in the size of the chest. It would have been maybe 10,000 gold probably. You take it, there could be tons of actual gold in here. It's just been illusioned to be smaller, and then you kind of put it in your pocket and walk out.
I can't add the gold.
Oh yeah, I don't know what happened with you. I'll add it for you. But then the rest of you go out into the waiting room. The door shuts, and then Valana.
I think Toad didn't have a lot of money, right?
Oh, he's got tons.
Yeah, I got all the ones from Ishtar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought before you said you had like 70, and I was like, oh shit, like he's new character,
Oh,
70 money.
it was the tens. He was like, I had something and 70 instead of whatever.
okay.
Yeah.
Fine, then I'll take the 600.
There you go. Go ahead and add that. So I'm doing this mental math. Toad 90.
It's trying to be nice.
That's a 6513. Okay, there you go. Toad, you have been updated. So the door shuts, and you see over Wizard Teva move the cartomantic sphere, the phylactery fragment, over, and the head of Thurnak. Unless you guys picked it up, he moves them out of the way and kind of leans in and motions you closer, and he goes, "What can I do for you, Dampier?"
Okay, DM, I know it's 9:40 already, so I don't want to take up too much more time here.
Sure.
So basically, Valana will begin questioning him in as few details as possible over, her personal quest.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you want, we can kind of speed past that, and I can rejoin the group.
Yeah. Well, I'll send you something after the session. Kind of some specifics around what that is. Yeah,
because I know there's a location that she needs to investigate. There's a path to what she needs to investigate, and you know what it is.
Yeah. So you're just kind of, from what you learned in Neverwinter, you want to expand on that to see if he knows any more of specifics around it, right?
Right.
Gotcha.
To kind of give Valana a bit more direction.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I'll send you something. So yeah, you finish your conversation, and then he motions for you, and you leave, and you grab your gold as you walk out. And actually, because I will forget, I'm gonna roll for Ethereon and Felix. So
Come on, Ethereon, get that 1,000. Hey,
wow.
pretty close.
Pretty high, and then Felix is. Come on! Oh, I have to hit the roll button. Roll. 55. Okay, cool. Oh, that way I have the record of those and I can add it. So you get out into the waiting room, and as Zaz kind of has introduced himself to all of you, and he quickly like conjures this map of Faerun and walks you through where he found this cult sect and kind of what he did to get himself ingrained into it. And I'll have to locate it on the map for you, but well, I should probably help myself by making sure I look at the map too. That would be helpful, so I tell you the right place. So he mentions that the sect that he infiltrated is kind of a ways away, but nothing horrible. But it is in the kind of I'll send you a map, but in essence it's in the Lurkwood, which is another one of the larger forests in the northern side of Faerun, kind of the last of the great forests before the spine of the world, so the large mountain range in the north. And he kind of gives you the guidance on where to go to find it, what like the code word is to get into the group, or whatever, just to so you can actually find it, because it is very hidden and obscured. And then he hands you a scroll, and the scroll he says is part of quote unquote the codex. He mentions that this codex is like in essence a page, or it is a page from the codex, which is the whole ritual of the Draco Lich transformation. So what he provides is the Worm Speaker, who is the leader of the sect. The individual sects all have their own Worm Speaker. Will read from the codex, the copy of the codex they have in their draconic tongue, their ancient draconic tongue, to then cast the ritual. And so because one, the Worm Speaker has been stolen and taken somewhere, and he took part of the codex, it really kind of set that sect back a lot. And he mentioned specifically that the step they've taken, which is the bigger deal, is they successfully deceived an adult red dragon with a name that I'm forgetting. I think it's like Valkorath. I'll have to find it. I'll send all this crap. But anyway, they like have successfully deceived this adult red dragon into wanting to do this ritual and thinking it's their own idea. And so that alone was a big step, but the fact that they did that and they had all the pieces together to do it. They had the codex, they have a Worm Speaker, and a dragon that's willingly able to go through this. That's the worry of that hasn't happened since the Tiamat Rising problem happened. So he mentions where it is, and he says specifically, he's like, don't reveal who you are, or else they may not trust you. And if they don't trust you, then it's over. They will quickly get rid of you and take the codex back. And he's like, but hopefully right now they're still licking their wounds from the raid from the fire giants, and then they're going to have to figure out a way to get their Worm Speaker back. He's like, but also be wary of the red dragon they have in their midst now. So
I was gonna say, oh wait, we can call Green, I can't remember his name, but we killed him.
Venom Fang.
Yeah.
He also didn't like you. He was mean to you guys. Golden Fang or
Bright Scale.
Yeah, Bright Scale. Now that's the gold dragon that you worked with, who is in Neverwinterwood. So it's a different technical region. I mean, you can still try to find him if that's what you would like to do. But yeah, and they get you all
Metallic
that.
are good, chromatic are bad.
They get you that, and they
color coded for your convenience.
push you kind of out the door. So,
I said there was no door.
well, the theoretical door.
They conjure one and push us out of it.
Yeah, that's part of
Wouldn't
the
that just be a
illusion.
portal?
I mean, isn't a portal just a really fancy door? Let's be honest.
I mean, let's be real. What is a door?
If a portal is a door, is a door a portal?
Yes.
You're
Yes.
telling me I'm a magical person in real life because I walk through many doors?
You know what? Yes, you are magic in real life. There you go.
But
Sex
in reality, do you walk through many doors or just a few doors many times?
Boom. That's kind of like, does
I
your
walk
body
through
have
many
holes or
doors.
not?
Okay, but here's the real debate. Is there more wheels or doors in this world?
Wheels.
This one.
Easily far more wheels.
But you gotta think of skyscrapers, man. They have so many doors.
Suitcases.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Also, if we count gears as wheels, then like wheels easily win.
No,
Okay,
we
wait,
can't do
so
that.
are gears wheels? Because they do turn. They do spin.
But gears aren't something that. What is the definition of a wheel now? Actually, I was gonna say that's something that transports a thing, but that's not right.
A round object with spokes.
Gears don't have spokes.
So what I'm
Wait.
hearing is they're very bespoke.
Okay, dead. You die. You don't survive the teleportation out of the host tower.
You guys all like arrive like on the bridge, and you look over and fuck, where is it? Shit.
Critter.
you look over and where do we fucking put it? God damn it! I had the perfect sound for this. There we go. You look over, you just see Chitter like having been teleported off the side of the bridge, and you just hear.
A Kirby scream.
No, it's the
I
Yoda death
told
sound.
him not to mess with teleportation magic.
Also, I posted the red dragon's name. I found it. It's Veruthax. I was kind of close. I think I bounced between like 3 different names, but Veruthax is the red dragon that the dragon cult has kind of deceived into working with them.
Sounds a lot like Volter. I bet that's really Volter's true form.
Yeah,
Faked
it
his
could be.
death.
Could be. I guess.
Okay, yeah, I totally missed what like we were comparing to Volter.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I was just trying to make a joke. Also, sorry, because I saw this, my brain immediately thought, as I walk out, he leans over to his assistant just goes,
We throw the child.
and that's a signal to teleport me off the bridge.
That's great. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to find my notes on that cult ritual again. I have it somewhere. But you get to the very end of the walkway, and McCath and Zaz walking with you kind of open that door, the field again, force field, and let you out. And as soon as you walk back out, you hear the thunderstorm start and the water and wind hit your face, and they close it behind them, and you see him turn around and walk back towards the building. What would you all like to do? It's I need to fast forward time. It's probably like 1, like afternoon, after everything that's happened. Yeah. I need to see if I can find a map too to show you where he said it was.
Well, shall we gather some supplies in town before we head out?
Seems like a good idea.
Could be a while before we return to civilization.
I mean, it won't take us long to get back, at least.
Vlana just stares at him.
I will have to ask you about something, Austin, after the game.
Sure. Yeah.
Just because of a question on interpretation of something.
Gotcha.
But
Let's see how far. So I think the map, a map of Faerun is in resources somewhere. There's Phandalin. Oh, maybe I didn't upload it. Oh, wow, that's really long ago. Here, I'll upload.
I might have one.
Cause yeah, I this is the one that I have on the home screen that I use for your mini map, which shows the locations you all would know, which is this one. There, that way you all have that large map. That should have the common places that either your characters have been to or just you know of. More common areas. Luskin's not on there. I will add it at some point. So Lurkwood, if you're looking at where Luskin is, it's just kind of directly east from there. But yeah. So the distance roughly from where you guys are in Luskin to where that Cult of the Dragon sect is in the Lurkwood would take roughly on foot about 10 days of travel. You could get a horse to make that a little faster. You could
A willing horse.
a willing horse, yes. You could find potentially find a flying mount to use, like a griffin or an airship or something to get you there would be even faster. But yeah, just as an idea, it's about 10 days of travel to get to Lurkwood and the specific area from here.
Where would we go to buy an airship? Because I know that Ervin's dad had one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, DM. We just like ruined your entire campaign. We're gonna get an airship.
Hey, I mean, technically, actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
Wait, we can make it better. We get an airship, we deploy the Mudslick Tower, and then we hire the fire giants to make us chains strong enough to hold up the Mudslick Tower beneath the airship, so we have a mobile flying fortress.
I was trying to think because I don't know if I want to use this. I may. Let me think on that, Toad. There are places you can buy them. Luskin probably wouldn't have any large ones for sale. You may be able to find one that could like just fit you guys and maybe a crew member or two to fly it or to run, maybe armaments or something if you needed it. It wouldn't be anything crazy. They are somewhat expensive. I don't have the exact pricing. But they are something you can buy. They just tend to be fairly expensive, right? Like it'd be like owning your own private jet almost. But yeah, let me get back to you on that because there may be some other things I think of that we may do. But because there is actually a spot in the written module Storm King's Thunder where the party is given one. I don't love how that happens, but I know that it is in there. I just hate the whole system for it. So, but anyway, regardless. But yeah, so it sounds like you want to kind of explore Luskin, resupply, get stuff ready before you head out potentially tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just got back from all this shit and being out in the fucking rain.
Yeah, it's been raining
Very
all day.
rainy.
Mm-hmm. Very wet, rainy town. Okay.
Well, maybe they needed it.
Alana, with respect, why the fuck did you grow up here? Or no, sorry, you were in. Never mind. I'm getting my towns mixed up.
Never went to.
Yep. Look, I'm tired. It's been a long day, even though we've been awake for like 3 hours.
Let me see.
I get it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, oh, that's loud. So we'll go ahead and kind of end the session early here, and kind of pick back up in next session with everybody doing their resupplies, figuring out, if there's anything special you all want to do before leaving Luskin, and then I'll have more information about potentially an airship and things of that nature. I've got things that I'm going to update for people's character sheets and all that jazz overnight / before next session. Everybody good for next Thursday to be the next session? I need to check with Felix and Josh, but
Yeah, it should be good.
Jeremy. Yeah.
yeah, Jared.
There is a thing. I am starting early shifts on the
Yes,
7th,
I saw that. Yes. So is
I
10, was
will
that
have a
10 Eastern or is that 10 something else?
it's 10 Eastern.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because that was my goal, is to really try to focus on getting us done by 10. That way you're not staying super late. So,
Yeah, that's my hard cutoff.
Okay.
At 10.
yeah.
I was gonna ask both you and Josh about that as well, because I know there's been a couple sessions lately where we've started